So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about how to evaluate your agency because there are so many brands out there that, think like, okay, there's either a good agency or a bad agency. And oftentimes brands, have that dilemma situation where they think, their agency is trying to rip them off or something along those lines, which, really nurtures just a really bad client and, brand relationship. Therefore, once and for all, I wanted to demystify that whole thing and talk about how to evaluate your agency and whether you're with a good partner here or not, because, I've had my own agency for 2 years. Now I'm on the brand side, operating my own brand in the US. So I think I know a thing or two about, what makes a good client agency relationship out there. So let's hop straight into it. So first of all, as I said, a lot of brands out there think that there's either a good or a bad agency out there and that they just need to try out a lot of agencies to find a good one. However, oftentimes this is just wrong. Obviously, there are those black sheeps out there, agencies that just try to, kind of skim you off or something along those lines. But, I've seen for myself after working with brands for 2 years that there are definitely those good clients out there and those bad clients, and 100% without a doubt, those good clients always get the best results and it always also is just more fun to work with them. So let's talk about what makes a good client. And then, first of all, you want to make sure that you are a good client because then you can also evaluate your agency a lot better. All right. So what makes a good client? A good client essentially is just a brand that properly understands and knows what they want and how to get there. All right. And that is essentially what this whole video is going to be all about. Understanding, how to evaluate your agency by defining, the success that you think your agency is needed to be considered as a good agency. And the first part of defining your success and understanding how to evaluate your agency is essentially setting one target metric. All right. This target metric can be anything. It really depends on not only, on your own business and business goals and where you're at in your business journey, but also what type of agency you're hiring, obviously, right? I might be a little bit biased since I have, kind of worked or freelanced my way through being an agency, Facebook ads agency, but obviously you can also hire an email marketing agency or a creative agency. And obviously, depending on what agency you hire, you are looking at a different set of goals or targets that you could, evaluate when it comes to hiring that agency or managing that agency. All right. So, let's just continue for now with a Facebook ads agency because this is the thing that I am most familiar with. And there it also comes to a lot of different things, right? If you're right now at a time where it comes to, I want to grow my brand at all costs because I'm super venture backed and, I have all the money that we need, yada, 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 which probably is not the case with the current, macroeconomic environment and the current interest rates. But, fingers crossed that this is your moment right now. However, obviously, if you're at this part of your business journey, this is a completely different way on how to approach your, agency and what they need to do and, how you evaluate their success. Then when it comes to streamlining your new customer, acquisition after already having spent, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 per month over the last 12 months on Facebook. So as I said, the first thing is setting a business target, right? That could be, click-through rate for example, hiring a creative agency, revenue per recipient when it comes to hiring an email marketing agency. And, or like for most of the time when I was working with brand, it was kind of tied to new customer acquisition or customer acquisition cost of that brand. So that target you need to understand, you need to understand, what target you need and why you need it. Why do you need that click-through rate? Why do you need that new customer acquisition, right? You need to have a proper target in mind that goes in line with your expectations and business goals as either the managing director or whomever you are that is hiring and managing that agency. That is tied to your success and to your expectations for you as a business, right? So you need to properly and genuinely understand that. A lot of brands don't really even understand how much they can spend in order to acquire a new customer compared to a general customer, meaning the difference between, the importance of new customer acquisition and general customer acquisition costs, So you need to generally and properly understand that and you need to understand, what your agency needs to achieve there, So you need to first do some self-work and properly examine and analyze your business performance and what you need to have in order to evaluate your marketing agency, which is often actually not the case. It sounds super straightforward. Most brands don't do that. They don't have a metric of, for example, new customer acquisition cost in mind based upon data and based upon previous historical performance, but they just take something out there and then think we will call it a day if we will call it a good job if they achieve that number that I've just thought of in my mind. So make sure, do the work, put your hat down, and actually examine your historical performance. So once this metric is set, go ahead and also understand how realistic this metric is to achieve. So a lot of brands out there came to me saying like, okay, yeah, we want to run Facebook ads. Of course, we've never spent $1 on Facebook, but we want to have a $10 cost per purchase right now, right from the get-go, in order that we not only want, but that we need to be profitable. Every good agency or every good freelancer out there will then say to that brand, okay, thank you for your time, but I'm not going to touch this project because your business is inherently flawed. If you need a $10 cost per purchase in order to be profitable with your new customer acquisition, then you need to just go back to the drawing board and better understand either how to go about your growth targets and how to go about your new customer acquisition at scale, or restructure your offer and your business unit economics. So you need to make sure that once this target is set, depending on like whatever target that is that it's actually realistic to achieve, and this is not a problem because it could be an agency problem that they're not achieving that the target, or it could just be also a you problem, right? So go ahead and leverage kind of platforms like Varos that give you, an insight of their data set where you can go ahead and select your vertical, your amount of revenue, your average order value that you're doing, and see what are the 90th percentile of performance there, what is the, kind of median performance, and what is the 10th percentile of performance, right? So if your agency, for example, doesn't get up to the targets that you've set yourself, but your targets are just completely unrealistic, then it's not the agency fault. Your agency is not bad. You as a brand need to do some work in order to better, understand and better get to your targets. And, if your agency is doing a 90 percentile work compared to your other brands in your vertical, right? Your agency is actually a good agency and you shouldn't leave them going, right? And you shouldn't blame them because it's a you problem, all right? So there's the second thing. Go ahead and set a realistic target, right? So how to evaluate your agency 101, set a target that actually kind of, properly fits into your business economics, and then make sure that this target is realistic and that you're not asking your agency something that pretty much nobody out there is achieving, all right? So that's the second thing. And then third thing, evaluate also your agency on some form of soft skills. As I said, there are a lot of, kind of brands out there that think, okay, like either my agency is good or bad, they're trying to rip me off, they're just this outside partner that I can't really influence. This is a bad way of thinking about your agency. Let me tell you, your agency should be your partner in crime. Every good agency wants their brand to grow as much as possible because they also know that at the end of the day, that will make them grow their retainer, and this is just a win-win-win for everybody. So, kind of when it comes to then, like having your set your targets correctly and having set, a realistic target, and for example, your agency is still not 100% achieving that, then it comes back to, okay, going ahead and evaluating the soft skills, right? Is it, kind of like really just a stepping stone that we need to achieve? We need to learn on that, on that channel, on Facebook ads, for example, until we reach that ultimate target. And if that is the case, then you want to evaluate the soft skills of your agency, which are 3 skills in particular to evaluate your agency against, which is ownership, resourcefulness, as well as, whether they're a holistic or a component thinker, So first of all, ownership, right? Do they own the results? And ask them and understand how they kind of approach a problem, right? Ask them if they're, or like if you're confronted with a problem, whatever this problem might be, How are they approaching this problem? How are they owning this problem? And how is the strategic and logic thinking about how to then go ahead and solve this problem, right? Do they own this problem? Do they understand and try to identify the problem and then work out a solution to get to a better end result? Or are they like, I don't know, this is kind of caused by X, Y, and Z, this is that, this is here. Then it's a bad agency. Go ahead and cut that relationship. All right. Second of all, resourcefulness. All right. If you're going ahead as a small brand saying, hey, we don't have the time nor the money to go ahead and have a photo shoot for every ad or every product that we're launching, then how does your agency react to that? Are there people that are saying, okay, we'll make it work. We'll think of something, whatever, we'll try to go that different angle. We're trying to, have that, different approach whatsoever. Or are they like, okay, this is actually going to be a problem? Your agency needs to be resourceful, and they need to make sure to think of creative ways to solve your problem. All right. So if you're not where your targets are at or where you want your targets to be, and they're not resourceful when it comes to problem solving, cut the ties. Obviously, if your targets are looking good and they're just not necessarily the most resourceful right now, then ultimately, who cares, right? You're getting your dollars in and everybody's having fun, then who cares? I'm talking about evaluating those soft skills when not everything is working 100% properly, which will definitely be the case when working with anybody or, when starting whatever business and trying to grow it. All right. So, and then the third thing are they a component thinker or a holistic kind of company thinker? So do they understand how Facebook ads fit into your business model, how they fit into your business economics, where they lead you, as a business? Or are they just like, okay, I'm trying to manipulate and trying to optimize some numbers here within my ads manager, and everything that happens outside of that little environment is not my responsibility, and I don't even have to understand it. If this is the case, cut the ties. All right. So that's the third thing. As I said, good metrics, to evaluate again, like a Facebook ads agency against, are things like, your MER, your AMER, your new customer acquisition, your general customer acquisition, percentage of returning customer versus, new customers that are coming in from your revenue, obviously cost per purchase from Facebook ads, something even that, like click-through rate from Facebook ads. That is a whole video in itself. If you guys wanted me to talk a little bit more about that, and drop a comment below about what are good metrics to evaluate not only your Facebook ads agency, but your overall, Facebook ads performance against, and let me know. But this is pretty much it for today. But I promise you, or I didn't even know if I promised you, I might have forgotten that, but I wanted to share some 2 golden nuggets with you by the end of this video, so I can keep you going and see you coming back for that next video, which is, first of all, most brands don't need an agency. All right. Most brands, don't need an agency because they're either too big or too small. If you've never run any Facebook ads and you just want to, try out that channel, and you're in the, multiple 6-figure, maybe low 7-figure range, probably trying out a lot of things to be the business, it's not a good move to hire an agency for them to kick off their Facebook ads. You don't even really understand your business yet, so how do you want them to, or how do you expect them to really properly understand and nail your Facebook ads? All right. So if you are less than $10,000, $20,000, go ahead and try to figure it out on yourself. By yourself. I feel like most agencies, or the sweet spot for agencies is just between $20,000 and $100,000 in monthly ad spend, because an agency costs probably between $2,000 to $10,000 around that time, which is then actually cheaper than hiring, for example, an inside team, and they probably will be able to scale with their knowledge and institutionalized understanding of like what works with other verticals and what works with my brand right now. But this is golden nugget number 1. If you're watching this video, most likely you don't even need an agency. Second of all, when hiring an agency, and when you've made that decision that it's a good decision to hire an agency, make sure that you factor in that additional, kind of those additional OPACs, or maybe even CAPEX if they are going ahead, or like variable expenses, if they're going ahead and taking their retainer based on the amount that they spend or based on the amount of their ad revenue. Make sure that those are factored into their calculations. I've had it happening a lot when I was talking with brands that were saying, hey, we had a great November whatsoever, or a great October or a great month in general, right? Because we've hired that new agency, and then the next month their agency fee slaps them with like 10,000-15,000, and suddenly their good month is just like a mediocre or even a bad month in terms of profitability, because they're like, man, they have just wiped out all their profits. Okay, so go ahead, make sure that you understand your profit structure and your business structure and margin structure when it comes to hiring that agency. All right. A little bit longer than I expected this video to be again, but I just wanted to drop some value. So thanks for watching. Thanks for every minute. Hope to see you in the next one.